Hello there everyone, welcome to the YouTube video here on the channel. We're at Ashford today. You can see our little train here arriving. It's the 1043 service up to St Pancras. I'm going to be taking that over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my walk up the platform because I know he's going to stop at the end here. We'll skirp around this lady and we'll walk up the platform. So you can see that's the high speed line on our right there. This is Ashford station itself, which does have the international capabilities here. And we're just going to, like I say, walk up and board our train. So we're going to be taking over from a driver. We'll just say they've run out of hours or something. So we've been brought in. Here it comes. So today we are driving 395011. Hello. So what I'll do is just climb up at the train. You alright, mate? I'm just going to kick you out your seat, alright? So he's shut the cab down for. He's actually not shut the cab down for us rather nicely. So, yeah, the train's actually prepared. So all I need to do is release the doors, and we can think about getting ready to go places. So I'm completely ignoring the speed limits. I'm just using it for this. I think it's. There we go. There we go. So I can just keep that up when we're in a station, so that we know what the departure time is going to be. There's no way of us doing it otherwise. And normally we just have a guard with a watch, but yeah. Release the door, lock the doors. Check our PTI. PTI is clear. Instruction complete. So reverse will go forward. And I'm just going to select a little bit of power to help us move off. Okay, I think I may have to re-on the pantograph. There we go. And away we go. So pulling away, we go up to 40 kilometers an hour. So I'm just going to leave us in notch 1 for now, up to about 38, and then we'll coast for a little while. So this is part of our ring on what we call. So I'm going to refer to two types of track on this route. I'm going to refer to classic lines and high-speed lines. High-speed lines use TVM 430 signalling. Classic lines, for purposes of today, are your standard protection of AWS and 3-aspect signalling. So, in the coast now. Now, quick little cab tour whilst we're here, because we've got a little bit of time. We'll go up to 60 very slowly. You can see we've got the PA, intercom, emergency call, and I'm not sure what RS is, but this is basically a handset for calling on board the train. You've got your DOO screens, you've got your radio and the associated handset. You've got your door controls for the right hand side of the train. I'm going to go 60 and coast. You've got your DSD holdover, two-tone horn. You have your depot whistle. AWS reset, sander, uncouple button. There we go, and we'll go up to 100 now. Emergency brake plunger, and I'll talk about the rest when we get out the other side of this tunnel. So yes, this route in Train Sim World 3 is pretty special, I think. Like I say, Train Sim World 3 in general is, the visuals are just so much better. You get used to it very quickly, but they are so much better. I remember, like I say, last night when I recorded the first look, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. Because there's times your brain tricks you into thinking you're looking at real life, and that's quite, you know, yeah, quite a trippy feeling. Brake percentages, brake air pressure indications, day-night dim for the TVM controls, TVM 430. This is our in-cab signaling system, so you can see it's telling us our limit is now 225. Got your DRA that we won't actually use today because, well, we probably won't use because we're on clear aspect. So basically, you press it, stops you taking power, you release it. You can take power again just to be safe. I'll recycle that. TPWS controls. This controls your windscreen wipers, so you can move it from one side to the other, or this just parks the wipers on this side. Main use case for that is you've got someone on the second man seat. They can't actually see very much if the wipers are on the right hand side. That's the main use case for moving them to the other side, and probably if you want to like clean your blades or something, and that's the side the platform's on. You've got your windscreen wiper controls. So you've got off, so 0, 10, which is 10 wipes a second, 40, which is 40 wipes a second, 60, which is 60 wipes a minute. So it's 10 a minute, 40 a minute, 60 a minute. Then you've got your couple on couple controls, train wash, so that basically limits you to 3.5 miles an hour. Line volts, so that shows us that we have line volt, that we have basically line power. MCB, so if that's illuminated, I'm basically saying the pantograph's, you know, the line volt light's illuminated, so that means the pantograph's touching the wire and it's getting what, you know, voltage. But there's none of that voltage is going into the train. So it's main circuit breaker, vacuum circuit breaker. Safety system isolate is just telling us if we have a safety system off, which I think we actually do today. And I'm going to have to make sure I turn those back on. On train monitoring, train fault, pan down, shoes up. So that's like an emergency plunger. So if I was approaching, if I was travelling now and I saw, say, a bag wrapped around the overhead line, they can cause a ton of damage to pantographs. So I'd whack that would drop my pantograph, and it would coast through, and that'd actually make an urgent call to the signaller, because I know that my train is protecting the signalling section, or is basically in the signalling section, so it's protecting the obstruction, so no one's going to go barreling into it, and I don't need to press the red button. Because that would stop trains going in the other direction. Obviously, if the bag was fouling both sides, big red button, and I'll stop all trains. Moving around, we've got the TMS, which isn't really simulated if I'm entirely honest. CTRL, DC, so this is Chanton Rail Link running, DC running. AC is guarded and not simulated. That is basically running on overhead wire on the rest of the National Railway network, which I don't think these have ever done. So that's why it's not simulated. ADD, which is automatic dropping detection. So if the pantograph detects a fault with itself, it'll drop, and you'll get the ADD illumination. Aux on, aux off. That is basically turning the main like batteries on for the unit. You've got your throttle, which is obviously notched in the power, smooth in braking. We are now approaching. So these guts loops at the end of these loops, which are approaching soon. We are at 24 miles from Ebbsfleet. Yeah, the things aren't actually thinking at the moment. So what I'm going to do is really bravely run back here and do. There we go. Sorry about that. I realised I hadn't done it, and I thought I might as well do it now. But cab lighting controls, reading light, desk illumination, temperature controls. So you can set your cab temperature. So generally, if you work on a hot day, you'll do that, you'll do that, you'll do that, and you'll just stand under that HVAC vent there and cool yourself down. Yep, that is how we used to stay fresh at Lumo. You've got your light controls, you've got your door controls to the left hand side, your buzzer, which isn't simulated seemingly, so it doesn't make any noise, lol, but it should, because Southeastern do use guards on these, so yeah. So apart from that, like I say, this route, like the only sort of, I've got a couple of nitpicks. I can't comment on the realism because I've never been down here, but the bloom when you exit a tunnel seems a little bit too much. Like, not much, too much, but a little bit too much. You know, especially like I say, it's yes, there's a bit of bloom there, and you can't see with perfect detail outside the tunnel, but it's not like you know, you don't see it coming towards you like a white fog, which is what it looks like to me in the game. Oh crap, I'm speeding. When were you going to tell me I was speeding, TVM? Do apologise for that, guys. I've overspread the unit now, so it's going to be tea and biscuits with the manager. But to be honest, at this point, you know, we're just really focusing on the actual driving of the route, really. So I'm surprised TVM didn't flash up, because 8k over, it should start throwing out. It should start shouting at me. So what I'm going to do is run. That's idle. That's idle. Notch 1, notch 2. So I'm going to put the unit in notch 2 and just leave it. Notch 3. We're going on an uphill section again, so it's going to be a little while. But yeah, this, like I say, what I like about the 395s as a unit is today we're driving it on this route and we're driving it as an express passenger train. There's going to be a video coming in the next couple of days, well, next couple of weeks, well, probably, yeah, it'll probably be quite a few weeks from now, because I've got videos scheduled already for the next couple of days. Then I'm going to have to move out the way to accommodate Train Sim World 3. And it's obviously not even been recorded yet. I've not even done the notes for it, to be honest. And that is that is Gravesend to Ramsgate in a 395. And when they do those runs, they're stopping passenger units. And like I say, like I'll knock Hitachi for some of their stock and some of the things they do. This is, I believe, 8 miles to go now. Well, sorry, approaching 8 miles to go. It is Medway Viaduct, 8.6 miles at the start. So that's our next landmark to look out for. And the Medway Viaduct, so I'll give you an idea on a map, by the way, where we are, because I know some of you aren't from the UK. So this is Ashford down here. Over here's Faversham. And then you've got this is Rochester, this is the Medway Valley, this is the Chatham Main Line going up to London. We go over the top of it on a viaduct. And then this is Ebbsfleet, which is where you normally join HS1 on a 395 coming from Rochester, which I've done that before. I've done that run before in real life as a passenger, and yeah, it seems really strange to think about, if I'm honest. I'm just going to do a passenger mode of my last 395 ride. I think that'll be quite, yeah. Because moving back from Rochester, I got on a 395 up to London. So we're going Newham down here. Like I say, the distance, see, that just feels a bit much to me. I know it's a bright day, but I don't know, it just feels like, it feels about 10% too much, I would say. I'm glad the feature's there, but yeah. So I'm in full power now, but the gradients on this route are that steep, I'm losing power. I'm losing speed, sorry. Which just shows that this route is anything but flat, especially on this section. When you get past Ebbsfleet, it flattens out a little bit, but you've still got to pay attention. This is the tunnel under Rochester itself, I think, that we're going through now. You'll see as we go down the other side, because basically you can see we're going up a hill at the moment. So go down the other side, the gradient, the speed will start increasing again because obviously we're going down a hill. And that flash there, I presume that's a known about bug, because that's a really obvious one. But yeah, a flash of light. And that'll just be as stuff loads in. But yeah. Overall, though, like I say, this route is pretty cool. I really enjoy driving it. It's, you know, it's one of those routes where, like I say, you just. Well, it's not even one of those routes. It's, I think, to be honest, it's the game that you know, it used to be that Train Sim World would feel special if it was a special to me route, like Tees Valley, right? But now, with the lighting changes, it feels pretty real at times, and yeah, like there's times, like I said, I've seen not sort of either small screenshots or like I've panned across it like something. Got to put my brakes on again. Get below that 225. Yeah, the train will doss me into Hitachi, who'll be waiting for me in some Pancras to download the train. But yeah, like I say, diving down the hill here. It's been Medway Viaduct now that we're approaching. And we're levelling off. Much 2 power. Go straight ahead. I'm going over the bridge. You can actually see I'm going to go at the external camera. That's the A6 again. And I believe it's the A6. It's one of the. It's an A road. That's Rochester Castle there. And that is the Medway Valley. And the Chatham Main's somewhere around here as well. But yeah, basically it goes under us as we thunder forward. So we're not that far from Home Street now, about 8.6 miles. At about 3.5 miles is when you start getting checked down. I've got no idea what. So we weren't speeding there, I know that much. And I didn't miss anything because I know auditory. So that's going to be a bug because I know I wasn't making any mistakes then. So bring the train to a stand and reset it. So if I now go. So to fully reset my train there, which is really strange. I've not seen that happen to me before. So I'm in full power because I need to pull away up a gradient here without rolling back. Will it do it? So what I'll do is I'll whack pan down, shoes up. Reset that. Pan up, shoes down. So my pan's back up now. The line vault's closed, MCB's not illuminated. There we go. So I just had to reset that for some reason. I don't know what happened there. I do not know what happened there. .225 in the box. That's fine. Like I said, I'm not sure what happened there because we weren't speeding, but it is actually warning me that we're going to be slowing down. So I'm just going to coast. We are going down a hill, so that's helping things at the moment. But you'll see that drop to 200, then 160. So I might as well just get ahead of the curve, so to speak. I'm getting, sort of preemptively braking, I guess. Like I say, I'm not sure what happened there. I'm not going to re-record because that wasn't down to me. You know, it wasn't letting me the train through that error, so. This is going to give me 130 to enter the platforms at. But I know for a fact I need to be going a bit slower. So, I'll go past that. Yes, I'm going to just slow it to 130 now. It's quite a steep downslope by going down. And then you can see that's the approach into Ebbsfleet, so I'm going to just brake on. Actually, no, this is not the approach into Ebbsfleet. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. Yeah, it'll be after this tunnel here, or this bridge. Probably one of the freight divergence points. Like I say, this is a really, in my opinion, this is a really interestingly done route, and the timetable's done by Joe Burgess, so it's actually, I think it's done really nicely. Joe Burgess is probably, I don't want to, you know, blow his trumpet too loudly, but he is, yeah, he's pretty competent as far as his gameplay design goes. And like I say, I don't want to say like he's one of the top of our generation, but I generally can't think of anyone whose scenarios I enjoy more than I enjoy his. You know, so like I say, like, yeah, I'm just being too cautious here. I'm going to go up to 130. Yeah, I was being ridiculously cautious. 130 is now fixed limit, so yeah, there we go. So this is the bit I need to slightly slowing down in. It's always difficult that when you go nav, slow down far too early and you accelerate is when you start having to brake again. So yeah, you can see that's the end of the platform there. So I want to enter the platform about 50k. So you've got the little cone there. I have that on because the in Train World, in the current build of the game, the stop markers aren't very reliable, and guesswork isn't the best way to stop a train. So this is my sort of mental stop marker. I mean, I knew to stop by by this, but yeah, like I say, it is missing on some of the stations. So it's a little bit long, but oh well. Release the doors. So, because I know I know we're on the marker, so I know what the whole thing's on. But you can't key in here, but you would. Interesting, you can only close doors from here. You can't open them. Oh. Just found these controls over here. Everything else appears to be enabled. Cool. There we go. We're nearly done. Yeah, so it wants me to close the circuit breaker, which is what the issue is, which is absolutely fine. So normal forward. We'll close the doors. I do like the fact that those tooltips appear though. I do like that a lot. So it's Stratford next. And we'll move away. So our start speed is 80 km/h. So we'll go from there. So really interestingly, I think I'm using cloudy weather here with atmospheric weather turned on. The last time I did this, it started raining by now, and it hasn't done that yet. That's really cool. It may do it in the next couple of seconds, but it just shows it's not procedural. Like there's a bit of randomness to it, and I like that a lot. You know, there's no 2 days on the route are the same. Rather embarrassingly, I opened a vodka coke last night, and then I fell asleep, and now it's sitting on my desk. But it's 10 past 12. It's lunchtime. I'm allowed to drink with my lunch, I suppose. Just haven't had my lunch yet. But it is tempting to have a drink of it. I'm going to stick to my stream monster for now. So in the 130. as we dive into the next tunnel. This bit of point work here seems really, really sharp for a 130. But I'm happy to be told I'm wrong here. You can see I eased off on the power over it just for that reason. So we'll go up to 225 and keep rocking and rolling. So, like I say, this route here I really enjoy. I've not looked at the Dartford section yet. That'll probably be coming as a video in the next couple of weeks because I'm going to do that in a class 66 because that's been apparently quite heavily reworked in Train Sim World 2. And I'm conscious I'm not doing a 66 for a while. I'm also going to be covering Castle Wurzburg and Cajon Pass I'm going to attempt. So I'm literally just, I've got my mouse on the speed because that's what I'm looking at. And here we go. So this is the Dartford crossing going over the top of us. Yeah, you can see it there. So we've just dived under the Thames. Now we're now in what many people consider to be the north of England. You've got the line to Dagenham Docks down there. And as we round the curve here, you're going to see something else that I think is really cool. Oh. You can see the sunflower is still lit on the AWS because we haven't actually reset it yet by passing anything. But KVB will start catching us out if we start speeding, so it's good to realise why that wasn't enabled. But you can see I'm in full power and the train's not accelerating. I think they may have nerfed the performance on CTRL on these. So we're hopping over another line. I think that's the C2c Line. No, yes it is. That's the C2c Line. So that line to our right, which has got a double amber indication, so that means there's probably a train coming on it. So the interesting thing about the C2c Line is it sort of so not in DSW2, but it goes from Shrewsbury Ness into London Fenchurch Street, and they've just got rid of their newest trains. They're getting class 720s in very soon though. And the embarrassing thing about the C2c Line is their ED&I statistics. Apparently, they only have 0 female drivers. Yikes, Batman. I know they're not a big talk, but they should have at least a few. If GWR can put a whole course of drivers through who are all females, then they can have at least one. So yeah, we've hit the rain now, so I'll just hit it, put my wipers to 10 to 1 every 6 seconds. And on the left-hand side here, this is Dagenham Ford sidings. So there's a Ford factory here in Dagenham, and you can see they've got car transporters parked there and some 66s. That's really cool. These are just static objects, but I think that's just really cool they've put that in. That is absolutely outstanding work, and I really appreciate the fact they've done that. Back in the cab. So we're going to keep the power on, and we're going to go rattling along here. We've dived down into the tunnel, so it's 6 miles to go until Stratford now. So I've got on notch 1, I'm just accelerating gently. And at 220, I'm just going to go idle. Yeah, I'm idle. It's quite difficult to tell when you're, when you haven't got a physical feedback. So yeah, like I say, got the train nice and coasting now. So yeah, at this stage, there's not much to do other than just basically, you know, keep the train within sort of 10k of 225 until we start getting checked down for Stratford, which is our next stop, our next and penultimate stop before St Pancras International, where this train terminates. Can you tell you to do onboard announcements? Good morning, folks. This train will shortly be calling at Stratford International. Stratford International is our penultimate stop on this journey before this train terminates at London St Pancras. If you're leaving us here at Stratford, we do ask that you take any personal items with you. Make sure to check under the seats, in the overhead stowage, and in any other luggage racks you may have used. To take this time to thank you for travelling with South Eastern today, and hope you have a pleasant onward journey. That was sort of a butchering of the Lumo announcements. So yeah. So now that we've got the curve on for braking, I'm just going to go and select and get my brakes up to 40%. Go 50 actually, because it's taking me a minute to get down to it, and it'll just mean we can trend below on. It's just yeah. So the bit more brakes just kicked in. But like I say, we'll get that speed down a bit quicker. I'll just use 67%. Well, yeah, we're a little bit quick at the moment, but nothing too outrageous. But it just means it's sort of, you know, passengers don't notice the rate at which you change speed. They notice the rate at which that onsets. So, you know, for example, if you're in a car, you don't notice. What you notice is when if the driver sort of basically takes full left lock on the steering wheel, you notice that, right? Here we are popping out into the open at Stratford. So you know you notice that because you've just been thrown against the side of the car. But if they gradually put that pressure on until the car's like tire screeching, it's not as uncomfortable because it's not as rapid an onset. It's basically my logic. So we're going to go back into 45% brake now. I should have taken my wipers off as we end. Well, I'll take my wipers off as we go back into the next tunnel. And welcome to Stratford. Wow. So Stratford is the station in a whole. But you know what? This is a really good representation of it. It's miserable down here. Absolutely miserable. Platforms on the outside that have only ever been used for extra capacity during the Olympics and never since. I'm stopping at the end, folks. Really sorry. You can see one of the other new features is when it's raining, passengers will get umbrellas out. Yeah, I thundered at that a bit heavily. Oh well. Dear God, please stop. So just to show you. Yeah, I mean, this is still platform, right? Yeah. A lot of the platform ends back here according to the markers. I mean, there's help points and stuff. This is an exit. That probably works. You can see passengers have got brollies. He's not put his up yet, probably because he's like, I'm going to go straight back in again. It's not worth it. This dude or dudette over here in the polo has got their brolly out and is waiting for a different train apparently. Okay, this is a route. Fair enough, lads. Fair enough. So we knew probably yeah. So you can see because he's got. That's a really cool animation. There's also a lot more variety in what the AI wear as far as clothing's concerned. And I quite like that. So I'm just trying to figure out if there's a way to move faster than this, and there isn't. So we'll walk back up to the cab, and we're going to close the doors. So I wonder, since that button isn't even simulated on these, which is a shame. So what I'll do is just close my doors. It's time to do so, and we'll get on our way. So reverse or forward, and start speed is 100. So our next and final stop is St Pancras International, and it is a total distance of about 5 miles. So not that far at all. And as I dive into the tunnel, Shift and V knocks the wipers off. 225, power on. So there will be drains in the tunnel, so the water that drips off my train will actually go somewhere. It won't just sort of stay here forever. That's one of the things I find, well actually yeah, because obviously you get leakage in tunnels, but also obviously like wet trains and water will run in, because if it lands on the concrete outside and runs into the tunnel, it'll exit via the lower point of the tunnel, which is quite cool. It's quite a strange audio effect. So yeah, like I say, we're nearly there. Probably the most demanding part of the journey, actually, from driving perspective, is this stage, because you've got quite a rapid acceleration. We're not going to get above 200, I'll tell you that for free. I may just stop at 180, accelerating, and then just coast. And then we slow down to 80 to exit the tunnels, and then down to 60, then down to 40, and then stop at the end of the platforms. So it's not, this route run isn't actually that difficult to learn. My notes are literally like 4 sides. Well, not 4 sides. Like, I don't even know where 4 sides came from. Like, probably half sided A4. So we'll just keep it coasting for now. So it looks like there's cable runs on our sides there. I think that's also emergency lighting for the tunnel, because so if we have to evacuate, there's no lights in the tunnel. There was in TS Classic, because they had them turned on permanently, but in reality it's just dark like this. There's no lighting at all outside. To be honest, I probably prefer the tunnel lighting on, even though it's less realistic, purely on the strength of at least you can see what the flick you're doing. Gently start braking now to that 100, and then we'll get an AWS alarm, which is basically saying you're now entering AWS, and we'll get handed over to that. So that's the 80, so that is us just being checked down for that final stage. Do a nice gentle brake for that. And that's 80 is our limit. AWS alarm, green signal ahead, so we're clear to proceed into the NRN network and the National Rail network. And so this is back onto classic lines now. So you'll see shortly the 80 limit will blink out, and the TVM screen will go back to being blank. So what I actually prefer to do is just let the train sort of gently slow. And it basically slows down at 60 km/h, so it's quite a heavy rain now. So we'll go to the 40 stage. Actually, we can probably stick to 10 still. And so the bridge we just exited is the bridge over the East Coast Main Line. The line on our right would head off towards the the North London line. You've got 2 amber aspects there, so I'm just being conscious of that. So I'm now braking because there's a 40 limit that comes into force, and I want to stay at 40, passing this signal. Wow, this is pretty heavy. I'm going to go into the 40. So that signal clears us into the station. It's actually a storm in the central London at the moment. Wow. I think I saw a flash of lightning in the distance. Either that or it was a lightning artifact. You can see our little marker at the very end there. I'll do is I'm going to knock my wipers back to 10. Yeah, so I'm going to go back to 10. Give it one last wipe, and then wipers off, and then just slow down to stop at the end. Yeah, there's a lightning flash in the distance there. Unfortunately, it went through the Pancras station. That's fine though. So we'll unlock the doors. We'll start shooting our cab down now. So tail lamps on. Fan will go to cold mode. That's interesting. I knocked it into that last time. That is, you know, just means the next driver gets a nice cool cab to join. Reverser goes off. Master key goes off, and that's the train secured. So what I'll do is I'm going to end the scenario, and then I'll let... Oh, crumbs. We've fallen into the track. There we go. So, 55.66 miles driven. Yeah, that was pretty fun, that. I really enjoyed that drive. Really, really did. So I'll quickly return to free roam for a few minutes and just debrief it. So, overall, I really enjoy the high speed, the southeastern high speed. At least the high speed section, I really enjoy. The dynamic weather, wow, what a feature. Like, we started off on a wonderful day. We've arrived and it's an absolutely horrible day. And that's the kind of features I've wanted in TS for a long time. Because, like, you know, especially if you do long distance runs, like you're driving, you know, a couple of 100 miles. Well, okay, I've got to power the cab up to lock it every 1 second. I just want to secure these doors, that's all. But if you're driving, say, 200 miles, you're driving a couple of 100 miles, which isn't impossible, you know, like you're driving from King's Cross up to Newcastle, which is a common run that LNER drivers do. You find that you go through, you know, it might be sunny in London, bit sort of cloudy in Peterborough. By the time you got to York, it's raining a little bit. By the time you're in Newcastle, it's sunny again. You know, and like I say, I really enjoy that, and I hope we get the ability to sort of drive through weather. So weather won't just be global; it'll be local. So you'll get like, you know, if you imagine basically the map and like a weather system moving over that map, you know, not just the weather system on the map changes, if that makes sense. Like I say, I don't think that's the feature at the moment, but that'd be great to get that in the future. Apart from that, this train's going to go back out in about 40 minutes. We're off for our break. The gate line's open for some reason. This area's normally sort of cordoned off. But we'll head downstairs and into St Pancras proper. So yeah, this is similar but different, I guess, to the downstairs in St Pancras. But yeah, can I go this way? No, I can't. Yeah, you can hear the thunder starting to crack. There's King's Cross Station over there. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Let's go stand in front of a train before I say bye for now. See you guys next time. Bye for now.